just about to say YouTube normally doesn't take that long. It's normally Facebook that takes long, but sometimes it varies. But anyway, it's your boy M.K.S here, back with another video, and welcome to part 2 of my dreams for helping Milan, AC Milan for short, to become a scary team, a world-class team if you like. I talked about how Herbert Kilpin, actually from Nottingham in England, founded, not too far from where I grew up, founded AC Milan, hence why it's got an England flag on it, although it's still an Italian team and hopefully still represents Italy, obviously. But anywho, my laptop, the mouse, it's not really a mouse, but whatever that control thing is, froze, as it sometimes does. Lucky, touch wood, I've still got a laptop, thank God. But it's probably on its last legs. It's been there for a while, but thank God at the moment it's still working, kind of. And hopefully will for a while, but I might need a new one soon, I don't know. See how it goes. Hopefully it'll last as long as possible, God willing, Godspeed, touch wood and all that kind of thing. It reminded me, and I decided to go for a walk. When I came back, I mean, my mum went out at the same time, so I was like, oh, maybe I timed it a bit wrong, because but after part 1 I want to go for a walk because of my sleep patterns, because like number 11 reminds me of walking, so I think I do part 1 for points number 1 to 10, so due to my silly patterns and that kind of thing. But I thought, when I have the house to myself, I really like to record in peace and quiet and that kind of thing. But I thought I'm probably missing out on an opportunity here, because I thought, while mum's out shopping, I can't stand shopping, but I don't want to hate anyone or anything, but borders hate. But I thought I probably should react to some scary videos, but I thought I'd leave it for today and try and plan that out. But and give like a trigger warning. I suppose I could still do it, but it takes me a while to set it up with the where the big TV is, smart TV. So I think I hope in the future I'll have my own creative room and I can do like reactions. I'd love to react to scary videos, and any views I get, if I get to monetize my channel content and that kind of thing, I would donate any money I make from like scary videos. I donate to Milan to help them to buy better players, but also to invest in their youth academies. I'd love to know what you think about that idea. Does it make sense? What do you think about it and whatnot and that kind of thing? And anyway, so here goes. So this time I'm focusing on the Facebook Meta screen. I thought I'd mix it up because I focused on YouTube, the YouTube screen in part 1. But as ever, please let me know what you think. I hope you'll support my content by liking and sharing the video and all that kind of stuff. I really appreciate it if you support my content as much as possible. If you do support my content, please let me know in the comments. If you encourage me, like, please type up I support your content, or I wish to encourage you, or whatever, something like that, and I really appreciate that. And these are pointers number 11 to 20. And then I want to go for my granddad now, perhaps. So here goes. Number 11. I normally think of, when I think of the number 11, I think of like walking, second chances, and things like that. But I also think of like changes, change you can believe in. How I love to change Italian football and that kind of thing, and what Milan can change and improve, I guess. But also something I was thinking about is thinking about change. I was thinking trying to convert people to be Italian football fans, in this case Milan fans. So how can Milan, on that note, encourage people around the world to become Milan fans and fall in love with the club, or at least support the club? So how can it increase its brand value, its marketing value? But how can it, part of that is getting more fans, I guess. How can it get more people to become Milan fans? Like maybe, basically, how can it market and brand itself, maybe to those from the diaspora who originate from Milan, and others, like my fellow Anglo-Indians, other regions, people from Asia, Africa, and around the world. How can it have academies and sports clubs in those countries? And how can it basically improve its PR, marketing, branding, and that kind of thing, to get more people to support the club? I think, like, to me, they have the best kits for some reason. I love the black and red. Normally black and red are not my favourite colours necessarily, but for some reason when they go together, maybe it's like because of the players who have played for Milan, I think it's an iconic kit. To be fair, I think Real Madrid's kit, when they play in white, is an iconic kit because of the players who have played in it, or whatever. It just seems to match their history. But maybe I'm a bit biased, but for some reason I find the AC Milan kit the best. I'd love to know what your favourite kits are and what you think are some things you like or dislike, hate or love, or whatever about Milan respectively. on what you think about the club and football, even the city itself, and what it could do to market itself better and brand itself. And moving on, number 12, as I hope it continues to market and brand itself and learn from other clubs that I talked about in part one, and I talked about in the past. And I think it'd be cool to work with former players. I think like point number 21, the number 21 as like 21 again, but 12 could be 21 backwards. I love for Milan fans to get involved in the comments and talk about what they love about the club, what makes them love the club, what the club means to them, what some things that maybe make them proud to be a Milan fan, maybe like winning 7 Champions Leagues or things like that, being second only to Real Madrid in terms of Champions League wins, the kit or the history or whatever it might be that makes people proud to be Milan fans and what it could improve, as I say. But I think it'd be cool for the club to work with former players like Kaká, Ronaldo, R9, Pirlo, and many others who have played for the club, perhaps to be involved either as coaches, managers, club brand ambassadors, and whatever else. I suppose Kaká kind of already is involved with the club, but I was thinking, I suppose I probably had this idea a bit before, but I thought Ronaldo, who I really admire, is probably my favourite footballer of all time, him or Zidane. Although I like how Ronaldo was always smiling when Zidane looked a bit serious. But in terms of skills, they're both my favourite players. And just about, I think Ronaldo maybe might shade it a little bit, just because he was smiling all the time and that kind of thing. But I don't know what his real character was like, but or is like. But apparently Zidane is a really nice guy, but he's always frowning or whatever. Or it looks to me like he looks serious. People probably say something about me, to be fair, but I'm a grumpy git myself, so being a bit hypocritical. But grumpy old guy, as I say. But I love because Ronaldo was apparently he went off the rails when he quit, when he stopped playing football. When he retired, he saw, or even towards the end of his career when he was still playing at the lower levels. People say like footballers fall hard when your whole purpose and your whole life was football, and he no longer had that purpose in his life. So he started drinking and doing all these things, and obviously when you stop training, you put on weight and things like that. Maradona and other players, Ronaldo, R9, and players like that. I think, although he was always quite big, but apparently he even went to prison. But I wonder if there was some sort of way where he could work with Milan and the club could give back to him and he could help the club with managing and coaching and that kind of thing. So I think that would be pretty cool. But again, working with all the possible former players, whoever they can get to become managers in the future, coaches, especially youth team coaches, help to develop the younger players. I could just struggle to imagine Milanistas and other Italians having skills, which I've talked about a few times, with like Ronaldo and players like that, playing that sort of way. I'd love to see players play that skillful, which is one of my top dreams in life, I guess, to be fair. I'm a guy of simple pleasure, I guess. But moving on that note to number 13, as I say, I'd love to react to scary videos. Probably put trigger warning, but react to scary videos like House of a Thousand Corpses, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and other videos, even like scary ghost videos, Blasphemous HD, Chills, and many others on YouTube. Clips that I've seen, and they're very bloody and gory. And for some reason, I like horrors and thrillers, even though I'm a soft, gentle creature. But yeah, I love to react to those. As I say, again, I know I mentioned this before, but I love to react to them. And if I got loads of viewers, then I think Milan fans should check out those videos, because any money I might make from them, I would donate to the club. I put my money where my mouth is. I'm not that materialistic, so I'd rather see Italian teams winning than see then have a big big house, a big car or anything like that. I don't really drive anyway, but yeah, I love to see Italian teams like Milan winning. So yeah, if I manage to react to scary videos, I would donate to any profits I made from them, if I ever did, towards Milan, to help AC Milan with their academies, having more sports clubs around the world, increasing their brand value, increasing their marketing, PR, and that kind of thing. I think I meant to say. And to buy better players as well. So hopefully developing good Italian players, but also buying the best players from overseas. I know historically the clubs had great players, especially from Brazil, but also from Holland, Argentina, I'm pretty sure the clubs had players from Argentina, certainly from Brazil, Holland, and probably many other countries as well. Some of the best players have been from Brazil and Holland. But I'd love to see, as a balance between buying the best foreign or overseas players or whatever, and developing the youth. Basically, I'm overcomplicating perhaps, but I'd love to react to those videos, get as many views as possible. Try and love to get anyway, if I could. And I do struggle to improve my content, but then monetize them and donate to the club even. So not even want anything in return other than see Milan compete and hopefully winning, or at least competing in Champions Leagues, World Club Cups, and things like that, again, like they used to do. That's an incentive. Hopefully people will check those videos out, but also hopefully I get around to making them first of all, and hopefully people check them out, and especially Milan fans. I do fear like the future of the club and whether the club's going to get that investment and that kind of thing. But moving on, number 14, I hope the club can solve any problems it has. Number 15, as I say, I think that any videos I make, scale videos or Milan videos, hopefully Milan fans will check them out. Again, if I ever do manage to monetize them, it will go back into, I would donate to the club as much as I can. I hope to do that anyway, but especially from scary videos and record videos where I talk about Milan. If I have the opportunity, I'd love to donate to the club, even not even just invest into or sponsor the club, but even donate to the club, meaning I want nothing in return except for, as I see the club winning trophies. Number 16, I'd love to know, on that note, what do you think the club could do to improve? So please do get involved, as I say, in the comments, either on Facebook, or YouTube. Please do get involved in the discussion, share this with Milan fans if you'd be so kind, and let me know, as I say, what you think Milan could do to improve. How can it attract more investors into the club, sponsor the club, and how can it get more fundraising? How can the fans fundraise for the club? How can it get any legal? What are all the legal ways the club can acquire investment and sponsorship and that kind of thing? So get that funding into the club and that kind of thing. And again, what it could do to improve? What are some things that Milan doesn't do so well? And what are some things it could copy and paste, replicate, or whatever, from imitate and replicate and whatnot from like Real Madrid, Barcelona, and others. Whether that's youth development, buying better players, giving more younger people chances in the first team, helping the younger players to learn from the players from overseas. Again, I think it would be interesting if Milanistas could learn from Ronaldo, R9, and Kaká and others. Like, how could they try those skills, try to improve their diets, try to improve their pace and stamina and things like that, and always continue to try and improve. As I love to see Italian players do that more generally. But again, with the club Milan, I'm focusing more on that than the national team at the moment. So I'm thinking about like how can it attract more of a fan base, but how can it bring in the best possible players as well? Again, getting that balance right. I hope the club will have as many supporters as possible from Asia, Africa, the Americas, people from the diaspora, Australasia, and all over the world really. And moving on to number 17, again, it would be hard to imagine, but I'd love to see young Milanistas like copy and paste and try different skills and be encouraged through trial and error to allow themselves to make mistakes, and people to allow them to make mistakes till they learn to be the next Ronaldo, Messi, Kaká, and players like that. And again, bring in the best players as well from overseas, but again, developing good young Italian players. It'd be great if they could use imagination to do that. It'd be hard to imagine, but I'd love to see. I can't really picture it, but it'd be great to see young Italians play those skills and that kind of thing. But I think the clubs in Italy have got to give more younger players an opportunity. But again, it's difficult to get that balance right between having older, more experienced players, including from overseas, especially, and having more good young, especially Italian players. Number 18, I hope the club will do a lot of good with the foundation. And I talk about selfish stuff and being scary and that kind of thing, but that could be good for PR anyway, so it'd be good, be mutually beneficial. I hope the club will have as many academies and sports clubs as possible for indigenous people from the Americas, people from Africa, Asia, Australasia, Aboriginals, Native Americans, and others, to get them into soccer, football, or whatever you call it, and work with FIFA and UEFA to do that. And hopefully FIFA especially will want to see that more people getting into football, including Native Americans, Aboriginals, and people like that. So to get those isolated communities and tribes into football, hopefully FIFA will fund the club and support them. Number 19, I also hope the club will fundraise for like S.K.M for Africa and things like that, and supporting projects in Asia and around the world, helping poor and disadvantaged people in S.K.M and different areas, supporting Asian businesses, for instance, and that kind of thing. And hopefully, again, it will come back to benefit the club. And number 20, again, I think it's a real dilemma and a difficult one, getting the balance right between having the best overseas players and at the same time developing the academy. So, again, if you have any suggestions on that, please let me know. And on that note, peace and love.